So you have been thinking of moving to Kitchener, Ontario, and you're wondering what can you really find between the price range of $900,000 to just about north of $1.1 million. Then you do want to stick around because right here in this video, today we're going to look at 3 different homes that are recently sold here in Kitchener between the price range of $900,000 to, like I said, just about north of $1.1 million. And that'll give you an extensive overview as to what can you find here in Kitchener as of early spring 2024. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. Hey, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in and around Kitchener, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and tap on the bell for notification so you can be the first to learn about the current market in and around Kitchener. My name is Dharmik Dixit. I'm a local real estate agent serving Cambridge, Kitchener, Waterloo and surrounding areas. I do get calls, texts, emails from people just like yourself who are looking for help in making their move in and around Kitchener, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a Zoom call. All the info you will find right below in the description. I'll be more than happy to help you make a smooth move in and around Kitchener, Ontario. All right, so I'm at my first stop here, and the house that I'm about to approach is the one that has recently sold around mid-February for $950,000. You're looking at a detached home with 3 bedroom and 4 washrooms, so 2 full, 2 half washroom, offering a living space of around 1,834 square feet. And it's built in 2017. And I'm just gonna turn around so you guys can take a good look at the one that we are talking about. That's the one with the red brick. That's the one that has recently sold, like I said, for $950. So as you approach that mid to high 900s, definitely this is what you're looking at. Closer to 2,000 square feet of living space above ground. This one does have a finished basement with an additional full washroom. So that's an added plus, maybe close to about 500 square feet of additional living space. But in total, if you were to add up the basement and the above ground, you're looking at close to like 2,300 square feet, including the basement. Now, as I mentioned, this is the Huron Park neighborhood, and majority of the homes that you will see right here in Huron Park are built after 2005. So you'll not find a lot of older construction. And as I'm walking, and maybe I'll even give you a short drive around as well. But what you will notice is majority of the homes are kind of that 2-story modern contemporary homes. Now, within the same price point of 900,000 to somewhere between 9 to let's say high 9, you will also have one more option where if you don't want to go with this typical 2-story layouts that you see, the other option that you could go for is a bungalow style home or like split level homes, maybe a side split or a back split. I'll give you a simple example. There is a really good neighborhood right here on the west end of Kitchener in Forest Heights, where you can find some decent layouts of those raised bungalows and the side split or the back splits into this price range of 900 to like 950, and I'll give you like close to 1,700-1,800 square feet, just equal space. But the only downside of that is, if you don't want to go for something too old, you will have to stick to this 2-story modern contemporary homes, because those bungalow style homes, the builders don't make them anymore. At least here in Kitchener, majority of the builders are actually building things vertically rather than horizontally. So if you rather want to settle for something that's not too old, then you will have to go for some like 2-story layout. But if you are okay with, let's say, somewhere between 30 to 50 years of age, and you still have this price point, they'll definitely give you that option of that bungalow style home where pretty much all the living space is more or less on the same level. And when it's like that, you don't need a lot of space, because right now what's happening with the house that I showed you, or the ones that you see around me, the living space actually split between the 2 levels, where typical layout is on the main level you will have kitchen, dining and living, and on the second level is where you will have all the bedrooms and the washrooms, right? So that's where you see, even though it's 2,000 square feet of living space, you will see it cut out between the 2 levels, whereby a bungalow style home you'll find it all on the same level. So that's a layout many people like. But like I said, you do have a couple of great options right here within this price point. The only thing you have to decide is whether you want to go for something new, or you're okay to settle for something old, but you want to go with something that's built horizontally. So that, I hope, does give you a good idea about what you can find into this 9. Like I said, the low 9, you will be finding somewhere close to 1,500 to 1,700 square feet. As you approach mid to high 900s, you're likely looking at approaching that close to 2,000 square feet of living space, better and spacious layout. The house that I showed you was not a double garage, but it was double wide driveway, so you could easily park 4 cars onto the driveway and additional 2 cars into the garage itself. So pretty spacious layouts. You're looking at about close to 4,000 square feet of lot for the house that I just showed you, and overall a pretty decent house if you look at the inside pictures as well. But that's to give you a good idea as to what you can find for $950. What I'm going to do is head to my second property, which is going to be in the $1 million price range. So stay tuned and let's take a look at that one. All right, so we're at the second stop here, and the house I'm about to show you is the one that has recently sold for $1,010,000 just a couple of weeks ago in the February 2024. We're in the Highland West neighborhood, and just take a look at the house and I'll tell you a bit about the property itself. Now, in case you might be wondering, this is a single garage detached home in the Highland West neighborhood that has sold for $1,010,000. You're looking at 2,150 square feet of above ground living space, offering 4 bedrooms and 2 full washrooms plus 1 half powder room on the main floor. But what's interesting about this property is the fact that it does have a 2-bedroom finished basement apartment. It is a legal duplex offering 2-bedroom finished basement apartment with a 3-piece washroom, which can be a huge mortgage helper. As mentioned in the listing description, it was actually previously rented for $2,150 per month plus 30% of the utility, that 2-bedroom basement apartment that's below ground. Now just imagine getting that rental income while you still have a detached house to yourself and paying just over $1 million. That can be a pretty big mortgage helper, especially in these days where the rates are the way they are and the cost of mortgage is pretty high for many people. So something like this can be pretty interesting. Like I said, overall, including the basement, which is offering around 850 square feet of additional living space below ground, you're looking at still close to 3,000 square feet, including the basement. And overall, you have 4-bedroom above ground and then 2-bedroom below ground. So let me know what you guys think about this kind of a layout. One might be thinking that, the house that we saw previously was newer. So this one is actually, into the early 2000s, while that one was built in 2017, fairly newer. But the neighborhood-wise, Highland West is equally desirable. It's just that you are a little bit further west into the Kitchener than, where we were previously in the Huron Park. But, one might be asking yourself as to why should I go for something like this when, if you were to go without a legal duplex or something that does not have a rental potential, the other option you could be looking at as you approach this, 7 figures, $1.5 million, you're likely looking at like a 4-bedroom layout. You can definitely cross that 2,000 square feet above ground living space, close to 800 or 900 square feet of below ground, basement apartment, or, maybe not a separate entrance, but finished basement for yourself. Maybe you can turn into a rec room or a gym or, play area for kids, whatever idea you have in mind for the basement. But yeah, that's an additional living space. That's a bit about it. Like I said, we are in the Highland West, beautiful neighborhood. And what I'll do is I'll drive around this neighborhood to give you guys a glimpse of this. And then I'll see you at a third stop, which is the house that sold just over 1.1, close to 1.14. That'll give you a more better idea as to what you're looking at as you increase your budget. And if you're working with that budget, that'll definitely give you a good idea as to what you can find in that price point. So stay tuned and let's head right there. Okay, so we are at the final stop, and the house that I'm about to approach is the one that's recently sold for $1,139,000. This is the one that you're looking at right behind me. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is the lot size. If you look at the width of the lot, you're looking at beautiful 50 feet wide lot. And the reason I emphasize that is because, builders nowadays don't build houses this wide. And as I mentioned earlier, majority of the homes you see nowadays, especially the new ones, are built, vertically rather than the horizontally. So 50 feet wide lots, you only find nowadays in the estate level homes. But to find that, something like that, in a house this size is pretty unique. And we are still in the Highland West neighborhood, but just to tell you a little bit about the house. So as you mentioned, 50 feet wide, about 120 feet deep. So you're looking at close to just over 6,000 square feet of lot size. And in terms of living space, you do have generously spacious 4 bedrooms and then 4 washrooms above ground, offering close to 2,700 square feet of living space. And then below ground, you do have a finished basement offering an additional, close to 800 square feet of additional living space in the basement that's finished as well. So as you add up, overall, you're looking at close to 3,500 square feet of living space inside that house, although it's a 4-bedroom layout. So I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Someone might have gone for a 5-bedroom layout, maybe throw in an extra bedroom, because there is enough space, I would say, in that 2,700 square feet above ground layout. But if you look at some of the inside pictures, you will see that the rooms overall are so much more spacious. But as you cross that $1.1 million price range, you're likely looking at crossing that 2,500 square feet above ground living space with likely an additional space in the basement. Now, something, again, to bring you back to the lot size and how this house is 50 feet wide lot, we don't see them come out into the market as often. And this house particularly was on the market only for 1 day before it was sold. And that does tell you about the demand for the houses of this nature. And you see oftentimes these homes more so located in high-end neighborhoods like Hidden Valley or some of the other neighborhoods which are luxurious neighborhoods. That's where you see houses of this nature, where they are situated on a wider lot and built more horizontally. So this is an exception. We are still in the Highland West neighborhood, and you don't see inventory come up in this neighborhood as often as you would like, especially with this kind of a price point. And behind of this house, you don't have any neighbors backing onto you. And overall, when you reach that 1.1 million price point, you're looking at basically something like this. So now we do have a general idea as to what you can find as you approach that $1.1 million price range. This one is 1986 built, so that's the only thing with Highland West. You won't see a lot of newer homes. Majority of the homes you'll see are built into the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Not a lot of new construction in the recent past of 10 to 15 years. So that's a little bit about this neighborhood. But I hope now we do have some general idea as to what can you find if you are working with that price range of 900 to, like I said, north of 1.1. And now we do have some decent understanding of what that can get you here in Kitchener, Ontario. But if you did get some value, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and tap on the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in and around Kitchener. Once again, whether you're thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 days, be sure to reach out. All the info is right below in the description. I'll be more than happy to help you guys make a smooth move in and around Kitchener. What I'm gonna do is jump back in my car, drive around this neighborhood to give you a glimpse of what you can find some other homes in this price range. And then I do hope to see you around town.